All right, so to some other issues, renowned business lecturer from the Manchester Business School, Dr. P.K. Richardson, says most establishments in the country are not adopting corporate governance policies. Speaking to TV3 Business, Dr. Richardson said challenges from Ghana's energy sector and long-standing infrastructural deficit will have reduced if state-owned enterprises have adopted corporate governance culture. Well, he's joined me in the studios, but in addition, we have Dr. Kaminta who is the chairman of the state-owned enterprises, also joining us. Gentlemen, you are very much welcome into the studios. Dr. Richardson, let's say welcome from the United Kingdom. Let's find out from you difficulties with a lot of institutions, right from energy to other sides. If you push up a little bit for me, my cameras could capture you better, Doctor.
Right.
That's okay. Right. So let's find out from you. Looking at our setting now, what are the difficulties that we face as a country?
The power sector, I think, one of the biggest issues we're facing now, because in the modern world, 21st century, everything depends on electricity. Everything relies on it, whether it's mobile telephony or factories producing or TV sets, whatever. So if the power system is not up to speed, then the nation actually suffers. I actually talked to a young man this morning he works for a company, and what he does is actually weld doors and garages and so on. And he said, the whole day, there's no work I'm going to do because I've got my gear, but there's no power.
Did governance go wrong at a point? Did policy in institutions go wrong at a point?
I think they did. Over the years, I think successive governments failed to plan. You see, governance comes from the word govern, isn't it? And good governance means governing well. So if you're not governing well, then you're not doing good governance. And over the years, successive governments did not actually plan. We started with Akosombo. Those days, we were about 5 million, so we are excess power. I remember we sold power to Benin and to Togo. As the population grew and companies grew, one would have expected successive government to put in plans. As the population grows and the demand grows, you actually put in more capacity. But we failed in that. So we've come now to 26 million people. A lot of capacity is in short supply, but we need the power.
Is this normally what you mean by corporate governance? So
that is public governance. Public governance is where those in authority, public positions, government, actually plan. Because you see, if companies are going to do well...
I just wanted to establish that. And
right.
Then I'll come
good, all right.
So it's public governance.
Public governance. Because that set the scene for corporate governance.
Okay. Dr. Kaminta Bassey, you are responsible for state-owned enterprises. You're the chairman of the State Enterprises Commission. And maybe before I go on with you, most of these institutions are under you. Can you tell me the difficulties you inherited prior to taking office? Because I know you've not been too long there, shortly before.
Well, it is very important to understand the fact that leadership underlines everything. We was talking about public governance. Now, in the corporate world, it is also the quality of the leadership that can determine how well the companies perform. Now, when I came, a typical example I've always been using is graphic. Graphic currently is on its own, it's on its feet, and is doing very, very well because of the sort of structures that have been put in place.
Others have failed.
Others have failed.
Which ones?
Let me give you the ones that have succeeded.
I don't have all the time, so tell me.
Well, Gihog Distilleries is one of the successful ones. But if you look at Ghana Publishing, it is not doing very well. If you look at Ghana Post currently, they are not doing very well. And there are a number of state-owned enterprises that are not doing very well because of the leadership problem.
All right, let me come back to you, Dr. P.K. Richardson. So he's mentioned a few. What do you think can be done to strengthen this establishment with corporate governance or public governance?
Corporate governance simply means how companies are run. All right? And as the computer people put it, garbage in, garbage out. If you put in the right leadership, competent people, able to determine where to take the organization in a globalizing world, all right? Able to recruit the right people, motivate them, and get them to do the work, the results will come through. But if you put anybody there, that person may mean well, but hasn't got what it takes to run the organization successfully, it will not happen. We should not be thinking about, whether this is my brother or this is my friend or this is my what. It's about who has what it takes to deliver the results from this company.
Okay.
So his leadership, as he has said.
He said it right, that we need the competent people to man these institutions. Well, you were thinking training because you run all these state bodies. What do you seek to achieve with these training programs coming up?
Transformation, in one word. We want to be able to instill the sort of qualities that are required, not just at the leadership level, but starting from the leadership level. But we also have to look at the operational units of each of the organizations, train them so that they can transform themselves from loss-making into a situation.
And which areas are you looking at, just as I prepare to wrap it up?
We are looking at, first of all, the leadership, who train the managers, the management, and the board, which is what we are doing with the corporate governance, but also using other forms of training. For example, right now, balance scorecard is the one in vogue, to train people at the corporate, the planning unit level of the company.
My time is far up. Maybe two topics you'll be sharing with them, Prof. P.K. Richardson, since I realized you'd be at the helm of training.
That's right. I'll be looking at leadership. What is leadership? People think that by being in the position of authority, you are a leader. There's nothing further from the truth. Leadership is about leading people to succeed. And if you cannot do that, then it doesn't matter the position you hold, you are not a leader. So leadership, and then how does the leadership then operate?
If you are a leader and you are not able to train people to succeed, then you are not a leader. That's how I would round it up this afternoon.